scientist and Web3 engineers. My name is Sabyasachi, and let's get started with Python in 10-minute series. So in this series, we are going to learn about loops, continue learning about loops. And what we are going to see is for loops, for else loop, looping over dictionaries, enumerate, and multi-lists, right? So let's get started with for loops. So for loops are very much like while, but they have a little simpler notation and widely used over while loop. So now if you see, we are going to print counting, means just a indicator. Then what we are doing is the notation works like this: for I is going to be the variable in which from the range of 20. So now range of 20 is going to generate numerics from 0 or 1 till 20, right? So then we'll start printing I, right? So right now let's put it in braces now, parentheses. Now you see the range started counting from 0 till 19. So 20 was not inclusive, right? So now you see while had a little bigger or a little complex conditioning. We have different use cases for while and for, but you can see that this was a little easier. So now let's also see how we can use for loops with lists. Now this was directly with integers. Now we say we have defined hobbies as a list by giving empty square brackets. Now what we have done here is for num in range 3, right? So now if you look at range from here, so it's going to be 0, 1, 2. So num will be 0, 1, 2. Then the for loop definition starts hobby, a variable that's getting defined, is equal to input. So it is the computer is going to ask us, tell me one of your favorite hobbies, right? And whatever we enter is going to get saved in hobby variable. Now the list hobbies dot append. We have used dot append function earlier also while we were studying lists. Now the hobby, whatever was entered, gets appended and added to that particular list. Now this will run for 3 times and then the whole list gets printed, right? So let's try running this. So tell me one of your favorite hobbies. Let's just say I'm saying cricket. Run again. Let's just say yoga. Let's just say Netflix. Okay. What happens is now it is going to print the list hobbies, whatever we have entered. Now this was a very simple way to use loops with lists, right? So similarly, we'll also use the for loop with strings, right? Let's just say we have defined a string which is caret with exclamation. For C is a character in thing, right? Now print C. Okay. So this will go character by character and start printing C, the each character. Then there is another word which is X, which is also another string, right? So now for character in word, which is nothing but the same thing, you're just going to print it, right? So with strings you can always use for loops also for trying to get each if you want to run a function where you want to check what is each of the character, and if you want to check if there is one specific character, you can do a lot with conditions in the for loop also, right? So now we've understood what is for loops, and now let us see what is for else, which is very much similar like while else. Only when the condition is false, you will run into the else statement, right? Now fruits is a list with you say there are 5 fruits in that. Now we are trying to say print you have for f in fruits. Now f will have banana first, orange, pear, and so on, right? If f is equal to tomato, which means if it is, this is like a check, right? F is equal to tomato, print a tomato is not a fruit, right? Okay. Now then break, right? Because it's no more a fruit and then it's breaking. Else, if as long as it's not tomato, print a comma f. Now f is going to be the fruit. Now it's a banana, a orange, so and so, right? And whenever this is false, if whenever we run whenever we see that it's not breaking, then the else will run, will execute when the condition is false or when it is ended, right? Print a fine selection of fruits, right? So let's try to run it now. Okay, so this is how collab works, right? Now you have a banana, a orange, a pear, and then tomato, f was tomato, and tomato became equal to tomato and said a tomato is not a fruit, right? So let's see what happens if we remove the tomato, right? Now when it was a tomato, it broke, right? Because the break statement was there and broke out of the loop and came out, right? It stopped running. Now let's just say it hits the end of that particular list, then it will run into the else statement, right? You have a banana, a orange, a pear, a grape, a fine selection of fruits, right? So this will run when the condition is false or when the list reaches its end, right? So a few notes. What happens is if we put up a comma towards the print statement, right? Sorry. Now word is marble. For each character in word, print each character. But right now what we have added additionally is a comma, which means print each character after in the same line, right? Okay, so let's try confirming it. Let's try run. What was the error? Okay, I think the comma is out of the print statement, huh? Okay. Okay, am I missing something? Print in identifier. Okay. Okay. There's to be some, maybe is it the indentation? Okay, just replace the indentation with a tab. Okay, you know it. So everything was running well, everything was good, but I just replaced the spaces with a tab. Now it's marble. Now I'm just going to add a comma in the character. Okay, so let's try to add the comma afterwards and see. It did not help, right? So now this is how you use this for loop, right? So this whole node is going to get trimmed, right? Okay. Now let us try to run this. Okay, so we're good. So let's move on. Looping over a dictionary. Now let's check this code. we are going to add it here. Now we have defined a dictionary, open the flower brackets and said for the key X 9, Y 10, Z 20. For key in dictionary, so these are the keys. If the D of key, which means the dictionary first key, if it is X, now dictionary of X equal to 10, whenever it is equal to 10, print this dictionary has the value 10, right? So basically we are kind of doing a search, right? So let's just try replacing the print statement with tab. There could be an indentation issue. Okay, so yeah, we're good. Let's try to run it. Now the dictionary has a value 10, right? So you have used a for loop in a dictionary and got it working, right? And enumerate and multi lists. Okay, so now many times what happens is we would want to also have the number, the index of the loop, right? So let me just show you both. What is the difference between regular for loop call and an enumerate for loop call, right? So let's just fix the text. Okay, so first we are going to run the regular for loop. Now we have a list which says choices: pizza, pasta, salad, nachos. Print your choices are. For item in choices, when it is pizza, print pizza. When it's pasta, print pasta. So we are going to run it. So now you see that your choices are pizza, pasta, salad, nachos. Now, when we use something called enumerated for loops, what we do is for index comma item. So this is how it works. Normally it is the item, but in enumerated list you also can get the index, right? In enumerate you have to use the function enumerate and pass the list into this function, right? So here it is regular choices, here it is enumerate choices, here it is just item, here it is index comma item, right? So now what you can do is directly print index comma item, right? So your first choices are pasta, pizza, salad and nachos. Your enumerated choices are 0 pasta, 1 pasta, 0 pizza, 1 pasta, 2 salad, 3 nachos. So enumerated helps you in also getting the index without having to use additional lines of code. You can directly start initializing that variable to have the index in the loop itself, right? So that is about enumerated loop. Now we'll see what is multiple lists. So many times what happens is you might want to compare two lists parallelly, like one for one, like the first row of this list and first of this other list, right? So that is why we have a function called zip. Now this will combine two lists, two or more lists also. Now what it's going to do is for a comma b. So now a will have 3 and b will have 2. Now in zip list a comma list b. So we are going to use it, right? It is similar for items in range. It is similar for a comma b in both the lists, right? Now we are going to print max of a comma b. So now you can check, compare both and see what is max of them. And whenever you hit the smallest list, like when that ends, the comparison also ends, right? So out of 3 and 2, 3 is max, 9 and 4, 9 is max, 17 and 8, 17 is max, 15 and 10, 15 is max, 19 and 30, 30 is max, right? So zip is something that helps you to compare while using strings, multiple lists, right? So this brings us to the conclusion of the session, right? And in today's session, we have progressed a little more in our Python learning journey. In our next session, we will see how to work with classes, and the link to the free Python email course and the code snippets plus the notes for today's session are in the description. If you like this video, please drop the top 3 learnings in the comment section and do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.